Alright, fuckheads, welcome back to Practicing Portraits, an artwod roadmap, right? What is artwod? The best platform in the world for teaching you how to draw from imagination. They give you the work, not the shortcut. Because of them, I can draw like this from imagination. It's not done, but yeah, like I can draw like this from imagination, right? I've been drawing for 3 years and 6 months. This channel will serve as a repository for the skill acquisition of draftsmanship, i.e. becoming the GOAT of drawing. Alright, watch me become great, draw along with me, right? 40-year documentary, whatever the fuck. What else do I talk about? I swear I say some other shit. I'm a dick writer for artwod. I love you, Antonio, slurp slurp. He's the founder of artwod, Antonio Straperis. But yeah, draw along with me, draw along with me. Let's put in as much effort as we can because that's the only thing that we can control. And if I can do it, you can do it. If you're like, who the fuck are you? Why should I care what you can do? Exactly. Why should you care what I can do? Therefore, if I can do it, you can do it. Even more of a reason, right? If some rando can do it, so can you. So let's put in a lot of effort. And what are we doing? Well, we're doing the artwod portrait roadmap, right? We're looking at a portrait. We're putting a box around that portrait to get the right perspective. We're putting a sphere inside the box. We're putting center lines inside the sphere inside the box. We're putting center planes inside the box, horizontal and vertical. We're putting center lines, horizontal, vertical, and diagonal inside each plane as well. That sounds extremely difficult. It is. It's this fuckery. I'm trying to visualize this. This is what we're trying to visualize. We're building spatial reasoning, an actual spatial engine that is transferable and adaptable to every single angle, right? And this is highly transferable. Drink up my coffee, but that's my new bit, right? I just make a noise and then while I sip my coffee. Wonderful, very, very unique. But yeah, draw along, please. Don't fucking keep me on the background. Give me retention, right? Do not let my blithering, blathering, and blabbering get in the way of your beautiful art session. Which is why you need to mute me, but still keep me here. But anyways, yeah, like this is all highly transferable, right? This is what I'm gonna be focusing on for a very long time. This is the engine I'm trying to build, right? The mental simulation, the mental model. Art is a working memory skill. Drawing from imagination is a calculation, working memory, draftsmanship ability. It's all thinking, okay? Takes a lot of fucking brain energy, specifically astrocytic glycogen, which is used from your prefrontal cortex, which is the part of your brain that is activated when it comes to intensive spatial reasoning activities, right? Right now, I'm already drawing in my mind. Like I'm trying to zoom out and I'm already drawing, and because I'm looking at the portrait and I'm looking at the angle that the portrait is in, so therefore I'm already visualizing the sphere and the box that is encompassed inside of it. Am I visualizing a proper sphere? No, this is what I'm basically visualizing right now. This is what my mind sees. And it's really actually way more broken up than this. On top of that, the box is placed incorrectly. The box is up here when it should be down here, right? And this curve needs to be following the bottom of the curve of the, like the bottom of the box in of itself, right? So again, despite me being able to draw this from imagination, I have very little visualization abilities, right? And that's not because that I cannot visualize, it's because visualization is an extremely difficult skill to train. And everybody visualizes differently. And for the 1% of you, by the way, because it is roughly like 1 to 3%, I believe, who have aphantasia, if you really think you're that fucking special, that you're 1 to 3% of the entire population, right, who just genuinely believes they cannot visualize or see anything, right, if you are that person, you still have the ability to spatially reason, and it still takes a fuck ton of work to be mediocre at it. So congratulations, you can still accomplish everything that you want to, right? And the way you go about it will simply be a little bit different, but it'll still be calculated. It'll still be a lot of cognitive effort, and it'll still be a lot of work, which you're capable of, and you can enjoy the effort of. I cannot speak today. Well, when can you ever speak, Viggy? That's true. Good point, Viggy. Thank you, Viggy. Anyways, shut the fuck up and keep drawing, Viggy. Talking to myself. Anyways, I'm still trying to see the sphere. I'm still trying to see everything. And I'm trying to get the perspective down. I'm trying to see the box as well. The biggest thing right now is the sphere, the box, and right now, and then the center plane, right? The sphere, the box, the center plane. The sphere, the box, the center plane, right? Those are the most important aspects. And the box has to be accurate as well. And I need to keep zooming out while I do this. So let me put this box over here because I actually have to be aware of proportion as well, right? If I start the line here, then I have to make sure it doesn't cross over to this edge. But let me make the line now. And again, like while I'm making this mark, I'm actively, not only am I zooming out, I'm also, while I make the mark, because this is very difficult. Like, okay, I zoomed in with the mark right now, but because I had to stop there, but this is very difficult, which is making the mark while zooming out and still seeing the sphere, right? Still seeing the sphere, still seeing the center planes, right? Still seeing everything. And right now my brain can barely see it. But again, this is why ghosting is so important, because the more I ghost, the more I practice just seeing the center plane, because this is the most pivotal part right here. This is the main wireframe that I need to constantly see right now, which is the box, the sphere, the center planes, horizontal and vertical, and then the center the ellipses inside each of them, which is the center contour lines, because that is what me being able to understand this. Like at the end of the day, we're trying to see through the form, right? This is not me drawing symbols, by the way, because the commenter did say that, right? Which is cool, you know, honestly, it just comes from ignorance, right? Despite me being butthurt and like me being a dick sometimes, be like, oh, I'm a dumbass, you said it's symbols. At the end of the day, if you're ignorant, you're ignorant. You can't help it. So here I am to inform you that, no, it's not just drawing symbols. This is to understand, to genuinely get very intimate, up close, personal to that booty hole, to understand literally the actual cross section, to understand the space, right? Because drawing from imagination is understanding form, and understanding form is understanding space, right? Form is just another part of perspective, but form is like the manipulation of space itself, right? The manipulation of perspective. That's not really a good box either, but I hope my point is clear, which is, and by the way, like I completely lost it, so I have to reconstruct again. To reconstruct, right? We have to just keep reconstructing. And I'm purposefully making this box larger because, as you can see, right, this form wrapping is a stress test. So what I'm doing is I'm interleaving, right? I keep changing the angle every time I do this to test my mental model, test my schema, right? My working memory capacity is constantly being stress tested, right? And right now, like, I'm trying to think of everything. Right now, I'm literally trying to think of the box, the sphere inside the box, the center plane inside the sphere inside the box, vertical and horizontal, the ellipses inside the sphere inside the box, right? That is the contour of the sphere, and then the diagonal cross sections, diagonal, right? And I'm trying to think about all of that at once. And honestly, this is actually like getting easier to be able to think about all of it at once. I'm not gonna lie, it's genuinely getting easier. Before I make the mark, of course. Once I make the mark, it all goes to shit. And as you can see, I was trying to zoom out there, but then line quality takes a hit because my motor cortex is not able to retrieve the glycogen, astrocytic glycogen that it needs, because my prefrontal cortex demands more of it because I'm focusing more on spatial reasoning because that's the main task at hand. Wow, he speaks really fast, doesn't it? Yes, he does. Doesn't it? Doesn't he? Yes, he speaks annoyingly fast. He's kind of very handsome, but very, very fucking annoying. TBH, fam. Right? I agree, fam. I agree. Yes, if you want to be an artist, you must have a Toronto man accent. Right? That's actually like, that's genuinely a requirement. And this might be too large of a... See, like, another thing is, like, when I make this Y shape, right, I have to also understand, because this is basically the skeleton of the box, right? I have to make sure that it is a sphere, like a sphere. And this is another thing, my brain does not have the capability, because this is what it's doing. This is the sphere that I'm basically logicking right now. It looks like this in my mind when I'm visualizing it, by the way, or like on the page. It looks like this. That's what it looks like right now. But I need to be able to consciously be aware. It's like, no. You know, and that's why I keep ghosting. It's like something like this, right? And look, like even here, you see it's still, this is super exaggerated, right? So that's something I need to constantly be aware of. And constantly keep seeing the center lines. And right now I don't really see the center line nearly as much, right? I don't really see it, but I'm trying to. By the center line, I mean the center plane, vertical and horizontal, right? Because I need to keep seeing the ellipses. I need to keep seeing the sphere and then the ellipse inside the sphere, right? Which is what allows me to understand that this is a space, right? This is a space. This is a 3D space that must be respected, right? That must be understood and respected. And that's why I'm ghosting right now, right? To really try to understand. And the thing is, like, right now, my brain is trying to understand and make the calculation that, oh yeah, there is a perfect sphere inside this box. It does exist, right? That's why I'm ghosting. But the very clear reality of it is, like, once I close this box off, while I'm trying to zoom out and visualize, like, once I close this box off, it'll become very clear to me exactly what I'm missing, right? It'll become very, very clear to me what I'm missing. And right now I just tried visualizing the center plane, but my mind for this right side of the plane did this. It did this. That's the plane I saw, which is inaccurate, right? And that's normal. You're gonna constantly keep the failures, the mistakes, the constant errors is the best part, right? Because you are training your mind to be like, hey, what the fuck you doing? Hey, go back. Like, do it. You gotta see it like this. You gotta see it like this. You gotta understand it like this. And that's what's going to create the warrior, the art warrior inside of you, right? I don't know if that sort of speak helps anybody. It doesn't really help me either. It's kind of cringe, but you know, you're a warrior. You're fucking putting the lines on a goddamn paper. You're so strong, right? So anyways, I'm really trying to zoom out. What am I visualizing? Again, like, I'm trying to be as explicit as possible, right? So while I'm like, drawing is thinking. So while I'm drawing this, I'm trying to really zoom out. By zoom out, I mean I'm trying to see this entire sphere and encompass this entire box. And while I'm making the mark, what I mean by zooming out is, like, I'm not looking here at the mark, which is extremely difficult, right? I'm looking here right now at the mark, but the second I put it down, I'm zooming out, And wow, that wasn't bad, right? But you see my line suffers. My line suffers because obviously I'm not looking at the line. Therefore, my motor cortex is now building the skill of not looking at the mark itself while zooming out and being able to see the perspective, right? And I don't know if this is something that a lot of draftsmen train, but this is something that I am training because I want to train it. Right now here I can see, like, did I even create a good sphere? Because now I've boxed it in, literally, so we can see, and I think it's a bit too tall, right? I think I created a bit too tall of a sphere, but again, what am I thinking about? I'm constantly, everywhere I look, I'm constantly trying to calculate something. Here I'm calculating the cross-axis, vertical, horizontal, diagonal, and now I'm trying to see the center plane, like, okay, we have a ellipse in there. I'm trying to see the overall sphere, the overall sphere, the overall sphere. Very difficult. And again, my mental schema will constantly be tested, right? It's beautiful. I fucking love this. This is amazing. But anyways, I'm gonna rest my brain because it's important when you keep leaning into the discomfort to take a step back, rest your brain, utilize the gap effect, plays it at 20 times the speed and backwards for some reason, right? And you get 20 times the repetition, 10 to 20 times the repetitions. So, and by the way, a repetition is all the effort you put in. For me, I've already put in like 100 repetitions because 100 times I've tried to visualize dozens of calculations and 100 times I've failed. Or like, let's say fucking like 50, 60, 70 times I've failed miserably, right? So that's good. That's literally, like, it's also what you contextualize as a repetition, which you could then further contextualize in your mind as an error, which then you could attach dopamine or feel good about, which then expedites your learning, right? It's all a feedback loop. It's good shit. It's good shit. Anyways, rest your brain. Oh, I wanted to mention something. Okay, so it's always the same shit I say, like when I address beginners or people who are on the beginning path, or let's just say you're worse than me or you're behind me. I know I put into quotes, but objectively there is worse and better, right? But like I don't. The only reason I put into quotes is because I know beginners are pussies, and I'm sure I'll be quoted on this at times, and I'm like super zoomed in on the line right now, so I need to zoom out. I need to zoom. Okay, I'm like looking right in the middle here while I'm trying to calculate the entirety of the thing while I'm creating this closure. And that is where you can see my, okay, I had to zoom in there. You can see my lines are really suffering there, right? But when I say beginners are pussies, this is A, I'm just abrasive, so fucking deal with it. This is how I speak, right? But B, I'm not just talking about beginners. I'm talking about my, oh, I'm zoomed in there, right? Because I have to really get this line down. I'm also talking about myself. You have to understand, right? Everything you think you went through when it comes to the difficulty in art, I have now cataloged and I can extensively show you, right? It's playlisted, year 1 to 2, year 3, year 4 now, right? It's all playlisted. So when I say beginners are pussies, when I say it's difficult, when I say blah, blah, like, especially when I talk about beginners, I'm referring to year 1 to 2, okay? I'm talking about the extreme mental struggle that I went through in learning how to enjoy something that was difficult, right? So everything I say comes from experience and my own experience. Now we'll see that, like what, so like okay, let me, before I move on, I need to see, did I even make a good, no, see, it's way too long. I'm pretty sure it's way too long. So what was the error here, right? What was the error? Did I make the, it's one of the planes is too long, right? Is it this? No, this is fine. See, my mind is really tripped out right now. Genuinely, my mind is really tripped out right now because it cannot conceptualize this perspective, a sphere being in this perspective. Like this right here, being able to just close this curve is extremely difficult for it, right? So I need to like do a smaller version just to think about it for a second, right? To do a proper box. So something like this, right? Ah, I see, okay. And then, so what is the difference between these two boxes? I think this front plane is not wide enough. Maybe that's the thing, right? Because if I do this, but then again, that's too wide, so I'm really trying to visualize. I'm really trying to understand this. But yeah, like while I do this, right? I guess for your sake, let me keep talking. Or for my sake, for any fucking sake, to build the skill of speaking while drawing, which is extremely difficult, right? Because I'm visualizing right now. I'm genuinely visualizing. I'm trying to see the center lines. I'm trying to see the center plane, right? The main thing is right now, of course, seeing the sphere. And this sphere is very hard for me to close here, but that's why I'm constantly ghosting and really putting all my mental energy into voice crack, all my mental energy into seeing the sphere, seeing the center plane, right? right? We're trying to see through the form. We're understanding this as something that exists in space and understanding it intimately as to how it exists in that space, even when we don't see that space, right? And then trying to visualize the ellipse, right? The ellipse, right? Because this is where the sphere is made, and this is how I'm gonna understand like how it actually sits in this space, right? And again, like I don't have the ability to visualize a proper sphere in this perspective, inside this box especially, but I'm trying, and it's getting a bit better. I can start to see it, but again, now my brain energy is really trying to figure out how the box is wrapping around the sphere. So now I need to recalibrate, need to refocus on the center plane, and then be like, okay, but don't forget that you have an entire, yeah, see, like now that's a bit better. Now I was able to just see the center contours a little bit better, like through the form as well, right? But when I say beginners are pussies, right, I'm talking about myself. I want to be very clear. And that when I'm talking about myself, I know it's reflective of that vast majority of your experiences, because I get it. Art is difficult, right? None of you have, spatial reasoning is one of the most difficult fucking skills you could ever try to learn, bro. Like you literally signed up for extreme effort. Like you just didn't realize it. That's the thing. It's your expectations. Like you told yourself, I want to learn how to draw. And these are all fucking sweeping generalizations I'm making. But again, I'm talking about myself, and I'm just going to assume some of it overlaps with your experience, right? Maybe not to like the exact degree, but I'm going to assume there's overlap, right? And while I'm talking, I'm drawing. While I'm talking, I'm calculating. While I'm talking, I'm thinking, right? Which is extremely difficult. I'm using my parietal lobe and I'm using my prefrontal cortex at the same time, right? And my prefrontal cortex is saying like, oh, what the fuck, parietal lobe? Shut the fuck up. We're trying to spatially reason, right? And same thing. They're both just arguing with each other, and they're both using a fucking shit ton of astrocytic glycogen, right? Which is the cognitive fuel source for our brain uses, right? And again, while I'm drawing these lines, I'm really trying to not focus on the line and really trying to zoom out, really trying to zoom out right now. And that's why drawing is thinking. Like, I'm genuinely really struggling right now. And again, I'm trying to see all the diagonals here, all the diagonals here, right? I'm trying to see all of it. I'm literally trying to see everything. And it's fun. This is amazing. I love pushing my brain to this extreme discomfort, right? But I'm gonna assume, like, yeah, I'm gonna make sweeping generalizations. But either way, the point is, a couple assumptions being made right now, which is one of them being that, how did I do this? Let's see. Oh yeah, and then I did down here as well. Actually, is that even necessary? Because I'm just trying to see this. I might as well make this cross section as well, right? But what am I fucking saying, bro? I'm fucking distracted by my own damn drawing. You can see this is actually, line is incorrect. But either way, and while I'm looking here, I'm trying to see the overall sphere, and I'm trying to see the center lines as well. Like, these are all helping me, but they're also obstructions when it comes to visualizing, right? So, what the fuck was I saying? Yeah, I'm gonna assume that you didn't know what you signed up for, right? So, when I say beginners are pussies, I mean that basically a beginner is someone who does not know what they signed up for, right? Like, you did not know the amount of work it would take you to be mediocre, let alone decent, let alone good. See, I really converged that. That's incorrect. This line is completely incorrect. And I was zoomed in there too, and I still drew a wrong line, right? So, yeah, like, again, it's always mistakes, right? Let's draw her eyes. She has a much smaller face than other proportions I've seen, which is good, because again, it teaches me proportions. And while I'm doing this, I'm really trying to zoom out. Like, again, adding features on top of what I'm essentially creating as a mental model, a 3D simulation, a 3D foundation, right? A 3D calculated foundation is extremely difficult, right? Because I'm trying to visualize this while I draw this on top of it, right? Very difficult, and there's no reason that it shouldn't be difficult, right? Her fucking eyebrows are really high up. She's not, I don't know if this is the bottom angle or what, but goddamn, yo, her fucking eyebrows are high as fuck. Just an observation, right? But you didn't know what you signed up for, right? So let me tell you what you signed up for, you know, and this is actually what I want to talk about. This is the example I want to give, fucking extremely roundabout way. And the thing is, like, what I'm saying right now probably isn't even what I was going to say originally, which is why it goes to show how fucking difficult art is, because I'm constantly looking back at the reference as well, and like I'm trying to constantly think about the box, the sphere, the center lines, right? So like I may have completely lost the plot the second I started speaking, but it's okay. I'm completely fine with that, because the point I'm trying to make is drawing is thinking, and all I'm doing right now is really trying to think. Even if I'm failing absolutely miserably, I'm feeling amazing at the fact that I'm failing. Because again, like even drawing these little tiny details, my eyes are so zoomed in, but I need to zoom out and be like, nope, think about the sphere. And wow, that wasn't bad. That wasn't bad at all. Because I was zoomed down, I was trying to think about the center line here, but again, I don't think this is not a perfect circle inside this. I may be wrong. Again, it's easy to look back and be like, oh no, it is. But I genuinely think this front plane needed to have a little bit more. We just needed a little bit more of the front plane. Because now this is a perfect circle, right? And again, like I still struggle quite a bit with seeing the, like how this curves along the edges. Like that, right? I still struggle with that quite a bit. But yeah, that is actually definitely. See, like ghosting, that's why ghosting helps so much, because ghosting is a bridge between your motor cortex and your prefrontal cortex, i.e. the act of actually putting down the line and the act of visualizing the line, right? And visualizing the space. But I think the point I was trying to make is the fact that because beginners are pussies and they do not know the work that it takes, right? They set expectations and they egotistically project their expectations onto the work that it takes, right? So let me give you an example. Ongjen Sporin, right? Very fucking amazing concept artist. I know him through artwod because he was working with artwod for a bit. He was a concept art teacher there, right? Fucking amazing. I love the guy. Like, personally, I think his teaching style is not the best. Personally, right? I'm not. I think his teaching style. By the way, while I'm talking, I'm continuing to keep looking at the reference and then looking back here and trying to like immediately visualize the sphere, the center lines, right? The contours, everything. It's really difficult. But personally, I don't think his teaching style is the best. But you know what that means? That just means it doesn't resonate with me. I've heard the words he said, and I like what he says. But some parts of it don't really I don't really feel like I understand it as well. That could be a skill issue on my end, and the fact that I don't have the skill to understand what he's saying, right? I don't have the context to understand what he's saying, right? Or it just doesn't resonate, and that's okay. That's just an aside, by the way. That has nothing to do with anything. But I guess I would just let you know, like my opinion, right? But Ongjen is an amazing artist. Ognen. That's how you spell his name, Ongjen, right? And I believe he's Bulgarian, or no, not Bulgarian. What the fuck? I believe he's Belgian. Like Antonio is. Antonio Staperitz, founder of artwod, right? And he put out a video being like, this is actually what you need to do to practice. Just go, if you just type in Ongjen Sporin and you look at his latest video, it's something to do with like, this is how you actually practice, right? And he replied to one of the comments, right? Because the comment was, I don't know what the comment even said, but he basically replied saying that, because he was talking about his studies, right, and how he studies, and he was saying like, as you can see, I am in the 1600s for my studies. Ongjen, someone who's been drawing for a decade now, right? His studies are in the 1600s. Okay, so beginners, like that should give you clarity and not anxiety. That should give you clarity and almost ease in the sense that, oh shit, okay. So like, that's how much work he's put in over a decade. Okay, so now that should give you a sigh of relief where you're like, okay, I now know what the expectation is, right? Shit, I fucked these lips up completely. But like, and by the way, I haven't been able to visualize the sphere, the center lines at all because I'm so focused on the proportions. That's another thing I need to keep working on, right? And you should be inspired by that, right? Because have you done anything in the hundreds, let alone the 1600s, right? And his are studies, so you can imagine his studies, at least each one took fucking bare time, right? How much time? I don't know, but let's just assume 40 minutes per study, half an hour per study, whatever. But 1600 times half an hour, right? Like, let that contextualize not just for you, but for me as well. Like, let it contextualize it for us, right? Like, this guy has put in so much work, and he's still like, oh, I don't understand this. Like, he's always talking about like, oh, this is trying to understand this, trying to understand that, looking at this master, doing this type of study, right? Her ears are very small. What the fuck? Damn, it's like my friend. Tiny ass ears, bro. Disgusting. Should not be alive. But anyways, and also to show you that like I do understand the space, let's just draw the little, I like doing this now, the little example that it's like, hey, he does get what he is drawing, right? And let's see, we have a little bit of that cheekbone, and then it comes down here, and then it comes down there, right? And then she has like a little bit of hair here, just funny enough, like I should be following the new box that I've set in place. But yeah, see, bald ass scalp, because we don't need to give her hair. Nobody needs to give her hair. And then that's the neck. The neck is actually like, yeah, it's like, oh, I fucking made her neck way too thick. It should be down here. But either way, you can see, like, I do understand the space. I actually made her chin a bit too small, but this is all following the space, right? Like, this is all following the space. You might not be able to even tell what the fuck I'm talking about, because at this point, the depth is much more intense than you would realize, but it makes sense to me, right? This is jutting out, it's down here, comes out. Probably should put this line to showcase the chin is actually jutting out. There you go. That makes a little bit more sense, right? I obviously fucked up the lips. Like, the features and the proportions are not the point. The point is that, like, we're thinking about it in terms of a 3D space, right? But if we actually look at the new box that I put into place while I try to visualize, we'll see that, hey, this is actually a pretty good sphere. Pretty good. Again, I really struggle with making the sphere itself because a perfect circle is very hard to draw, but it's okay. I definitely don't. I still need to work on my understanding of the curves, right? But it's pretty decent, pretty decent. Definitely, I left some space here, which is what makes this top part super squished, right? So that's another thing. Like, I don't understand everything. I don't understand anything, but this is like the wireframe I'm constantly trying to see, right? And I've been struggling. I'm telling you right now, like, this is something my brain, I constantly need to keep refining everything to it. Is like, look, don't forget you have this extremely narrow vertical ellipse, and then same thing here, right? Extremely narrow horizontal ellipse, and you can see I'm drawing this ellipse horribly, right? Like, I'm not be able to, I guess, especially at this size, I'm not able to get the nuance down. But if I try to think about it again and do it, it's something like this. This is a bit too wide of a degree, but you can see I struggle with this quite a bit, right? And that's good. Like, the struggle is important, right? And that's not even counting that I'm also trying to see this, right? So this is the mental schema. This is the mental model I'm constantly trying to visualize. Right, now we're going to stress test it, because we stress tested my construction, which we've noticed has a lot of issues, and then we're going to we stress tested the construction of it, right? And now we're going to stress test the stability of it. So stress testing the construction in a new angle, and then stress testing the stability in that angle by wrapping a form wrapping, as you can see on the left, that basically, like, completely, without a doubt, forces me to acknowledge all my shortcomings. But yeah, constantly trying to visualize this entire fuckery, right? So let me rest my brain. I encourage you to do so as well. But yeah, like, just as an aside, yeah, Ongjin is in studies. His studies are in the 1600s, okay? His studies are in the 1600s, and he feels like he has a lot further to go. And if you look at his art, again, Ognjen Sporin, Sporin. Type in that, type in art, concept art, fucking incredible artist. His like, there's so many things about his art that's amazing, but his gesture, like his silhouettes, oh, I'm nutting, right? Fucking amazing. But anyways, let me rest my brain, and I need to try even harder, because again, I could always feel like I can try even harder. So that's what I need to do, just keep fucking trying. Like, again, the biggest thing I keep, not failing, but yeah, technically, yes, I have been failing, is visualizing this side plane and the middle plane properly, right? Like, and again, you can see, oh, look, in a smaller angle, I can do it so easily, but it doesn't matter, because at the end of the day, this is the angle I need to do it in, right? And I need to be able to visualize it and be like, okay, how is it actually created, right? Like, what is it looking like? And as you can see, I keep making the top part too flat. There needs to be a lot more curve to it all. That's already pretty incorrect, because again, that's still too wide of an angle, but the idea is what I'm trying to constantly think about. So yeah, let me rest my brain. I encourage you to do so as well, and then we will keep fucking trying hard. Just that's all we can do, right? Just keep putting a lot of effort and enjoying the effort, and just keep trying to course correct. That's, at the end of the day, that's literally all we can do. Hashtag swag. I don't know why I said that. I just thought it was appropriate, man. Leave me alone. Yeah, at the end of the day, it all just comes down to expectations versus reality, which is why you must surround yourself with the reality of those who are better than you, right? And the work that they did. And I'm glad that we're in a time where not all professionals, but many professionals, or many people who have professional level art, and which professional level art is just a way of saying really fucking good art, right? Of course, oh yes, there's nuance. There's people who are professionals and their art isn't fucking amazing. There are people whose art is amazing and they aren't professionals. But we're just gonna use the professional terminology as a means of describing just the fact that their art's pretty fucking good, right? They're pretty fucking great draftsmen. They're pretty fucking great at whatever you want. You yourself are like, oh wow, that's really great art, right? These are all the factors that I'm interested and I find to be great art, whatever, right? But I'm glad we live in a time where they are drastically and consistently redefining expectations, right? And by the way, while I'm talking, this is so fucking difficult because not only do I have to visualize this perfect circle and the box that's encompassing it and then the center line, right? I have to visualize and stabilize this in my mind and then wrap the form around it, wrap this around it, right? So I really, like, and I genuinely mean this is so difficult for me. I really have to visualize this because this is a new angle, and again, it's the construction and stability of it, right? And I have to be able to understand that depth, that hey, you have something that's a cylinder, and then you have something that's another cylinder, right? And then that has depth as well, and then your mental schema, right? This is the center line, like, actually no, like right there, that's my center line, and that's where I need to be able to see like my box and all that shit. Obviously, I actually drew the wrong center line, but hopefully, like the diagonal process, but the cross axis. But the point I'm trying to make is like, I need to understand the depth. Like again, my center line is here. My center line is here. The cross axis is following here. It's ending there. Where's my box? Like that is the center line. That's why this is such a good stress test because it literally forces me to calculate consistently and to construct and stabilize and understand the nuance, right? Because I have to essentially have this be stabilized and then wrap something that has its own logic, right? That is its own box that follows the same perspective, but is its own 3D box around it, right? And that's highly transferable, by the way. That is, and again, this is not exactly center, so I still have to understand that, like, what is the slight nuance of this plane that goes through here, right? And what is the curve that is here? Like, how is that slightly different than the curve that's right in the middle? Because this one's gonna be slightly larger. And like, oh, that's a slightly larger curve, right? So I have to understand all of that. And basically I have to see it infinite fucking planes. That's the thing we have to understand. And anybody who understands draftsmanship, like this is the level we can go to, is just seeing infinite fucking planes, right? Just plane, 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 plane. Oh, look, that forms a sphere, but it's all surrounded by infinite fucking planes. Right? And the fucking is very important, by the way. I have to be very clear. That part's the most important part. And then like that means it's also surrounded by its infinite ellipses, infinite contours. And this is what they teach you in artwod, right? And it's like the contours are just replicated infinitely to create the solidity of the shape that we're seeing, you know? But that's a lot. That's a lot. You probably got a fucking headache just looking at this if you're worse than me, right? And if you're better than me, you're probably like, what the fuck? This guy's waste. Why can't he do better? I'm sorry, I'm trying, god damn it, I'm trying, I'm sorry. Right? But either way, trying to really visualize. I need to, how long has it been? 32 minutes, right? I need to fucking grind my brain, but I need to really put as much effort into visualization as possible. I will not take a lack of effort as the reality. Like the most important thing right now is to see. And I'm gonna put this box a bit lower, right? And I need to stabilize and consistently stabilize the box. Right now it's in the wrong angle. Oh, see, made a mistake in the wrong angle. Oh, I just lost the box. Okay, trying to see the sphere, right? So difficult. Okay, I just lost the sphere. I just lost the center line. Oh, I just lost the center plane, the vertical center plane. Oh, I just lost the horizontal center plane. But this is good. This right here, this is working memory capacity. This is my mind trying to hold fucking 30 plus calculations in my mind, right? Like trying to hold all of this and then trying to hold all the calculations involved in this as it wraps around. Box, projected back, box, projected back. Calculate the sphere, the ellipse inside of it. Another box, projected back. Oh, another box, cut out, right? Cut out, projected back. Right, what does that look like? Oh, make sure that it's the same length, right? Make sure that you calculate that this unit and this unit is the same, right? Make sure to understand that nuance. What the fuck? I can't even comprehend that right now, right? So again, I'm looking back here because I lost the visualization. I'm looking back, right? And I just need to have the I need to have the stability. Before I do anything, I need to at least have a vague stability of the construction in and of itself, right? And that is the difficult part right now because my mind keeps shifting the box up because the positioning, consistency, proportion, and placement of the mental model in and of itself is important, right? Like retaining the size, retaining the positioning. Right now, I keep putting it here and it just keeps shifting up. Why does it keep shifting up? Because when I try to think about the logic of the form that's sitting on top of it, my mind immediately like, oh, that's the new sphere, that's the new mental model, that's the new fuckery, right? It's like, no, that is the stress test, and this is the fuckery. So it has to stay, It has to stay, and I have to consistently visualize that. And that's already very difficult as it is. So you can forget me trying to do everything, but I'm trying, which is trying to see the sphere, trying to see the mental model of the box, and the center plane, right? The center plane, horizontal and vertical, right? The center plane. Oh, bro, I love this. I love this. I live for this shit. This difficulty, this is what I want in my life. This is, or at least in my drawing sessions. Just my life in general. I like doing difficult things, of course. Like, I've trained myself to do it, right? But again, constantly reconstruct, right? Try to understand. Again, I'll look at that just as a little bit as a reference, right? But we need to see through the form. And right now, I'm really trying to see the vertical ellipse and the horizontal ellipse, right? And I need to be able to see it properly. Yeah, there you go. That's a good, that's a lot better, but it's in the wrong perspective. I'm ghosting something like this when very subtly it's supposed to be more something like this, right? So like these nuances make a difference, right? And that's why, like, I fucking love this, bro. It's so difficult. It is so difficult, but I need to, and again, I keep losing the perspective, so I need to keep zooming out. I need to keep zooming out to keep seeing it. And I don't see it. I'll tell you right now, I don't see shit, bro. I barely see the sphere. I barely see the perspective box. But that's because, again, like, while I'm seeing it, I'm trying to think. Okay, let me move it down a little. Oh, fuck me. Let me move it down a little bit, right? Let me, oh, dude, this is so hard. Ah, shit, I hit the camera too. God damn it. I'm sorry. But, oh my God. See, like, this is the part where you just need to feel so good. You gotta coom in your brain because you're like attaching dopamine, right? All that shit. And then you just gotta, okay. What the fuck? I can't even think right now. But what am I thinking about right now? I'm still trying to think about the box. Still trying to think about the sphere. I'm really trying to zoom out. I'm really trying to zoom out. And then now I just gotta commit and make a mark, right? So, and I know I'm zoomed in right now, but that's the tough titties, right? That's I just gotta deal with that. And now I'm still trying to think about the fact that the box is actually down here, right? Because the sphere is here, and this is my center line. Because I have another 3D object that is going to create more depth, right? Because this thing's center line is right there. You know, this thing's center line is right there, and then you project it downwards, it's right around there, right? But I have to be aware of that. Like, it's all projection, it's all 3D. And again, I have to understand the center of my, because this is the center, right? This is the center of the vertical center and the horizontal center, like, of my box, right? So I need to, again, go further back and be like, okay, well, I have to understand the plane that we are drawing in, right? And this is killing my fucking brain. Oh, I love this so much, bro. I fucking love this so much. This is so difficult. Holy shit. But, sorry, this is so difficult, and it's a good thing. My fucking iPad battery is low. So I'm gonna take a step back because I tried holding that for as much as I could. Now I'm gonna rest my brain. I encourage you to do so as well. And then we're gonna come back and we're gonna really try to fucking grind this out. Oh, and again, the whole point is like to understand this is a 3D additional wraparound on the existing mental model, right? And again, like even while I'm looking here, I'm really trying to understand that it's wrapping around. This 3D wraparound is wrapping around my mental model, right? This is my sphere. This is the box, right? It's down here, by the way, right? Because my center line, this is the center line for this. Coming back lower, you probably don't understand what the fuck I'm talking about at this point because it's all, none of it exists. It's just me calculating it in my mind. But I'm trying to tell you everything I'm calculating, so hopefully there's some contextual awareness. And I hope you're drawing along with me and doing your best to calculate what you can. Hopefully, again, this is validating that you're like, oh shit, this guy's been fucking struggling. Therefore, it makes sense that I'm struggling too with whatever I'm focusing on, right? No shit, that's how learning works. Now, congratulations, we're on the same page. Anyways, rest your brain. Yeah, this moment right here, this moment is where your brain is updating its mental model, okay? Like this right here, okay? This moment, and hundreds of these moments, by the way, throughout the months, is when it's updating its mental model. Not just in one session, right? If you're a child, by the way, like if you're under the age of 25, not that that's a child, but like neuroplasticity is at its peak up until the ages of 25. Right? I started after my birthday, actually. I started 2 months after my birthday, or a month and a half after my birthday. November 1st, 2022 is when I started to learn how to draw, right? So I've been learning and getting quote unquote this good, this fast, whatever you want to call it, through sheer intentional, deliberate practice, and that's why I'm so fucking autistic when it comes to learning how to learn, right? Because like right now I'm trying to understand the nuance of this depth, right? So this is okay. So this is where that's where my center is. There you go. Okay, so now I can actually get a pretty decent idea of my sphere in and of itself, right? But if you're under the age of 25, or let's just say 22, whatever, right? You are actually going to have much bigger gains in learning than I am. Like, I'm gonna struggle a lot more than you, and it's gonna take me longer for my brain to learn. Which is why I have to keep attaching dopamine to errors, right? Focusing on the fucking utilizing the gap effect, utilizing the fucking spacing effect, like resting after I'm done my practice, right? Like everything, like intentional, deliberate practice is pivotal to adult learning, right? But that's why I'm saying, like, the younger people, because for some reason fucking kids are watching my videos, right, or drawing along, which is nice, you know, don't get me wrong, like it's good and all. I don't know why, but it's get the youngins in. How do you do, fellow kids, like all that shit. But and by the way, while I'm talking, I've been unable to think, but I'm trying to think really hard right now. But what I'm trying to say is, let me get the perspective down. Okay, so once I make this mark, that should make it a lot easier to get the mental model, because that means my centers are right there, right? My centers are right here. Yeah, there you go. My center's like right there, right? So that is my box, right? That is my box. So my sphere, okay, my sphere needs to be, and this is me like really trying to think about the wraparound, because I need to think about the wraparound logic for this as well, and it's wrapping around my mental model, right? Like the construction of my mental model, right? But all I'm trying to say is, if you're young and you're practicing as intently as I am, or at least like trying to constantly utilize all the things I say, not only are you already learning fast because your brain is extremely plastic, right? At this age, like under the age of 25, you're also expediting your growth because you're intentionally practicing, you're deliberately practicing, you're utilizing the gap effect, all that shit. So genuinely keep fucking going and keep making things difficult for yourself and keep working hard, right? Like, cause it's genuinely, that's all you can control. I don't know where I was going with that, but all I'm trying to say is, like, the younger kids, like those of you who are under the age of 25, because I'm 28 right now, right? I'm 28 and a half almost. Actually, it's been past 28 and a half. Yeah, I'm over 28 and a half. But I am doing everything I can just to match your natural baseline right now in terms of learning and neuroplasticity and retaining things. So it's still going to take me much more time to retain. So that should inspire you to be like, wait, that means I can get there faster. That doesn't mean you need to be in a rush, by the way. I'm going to be explicitly clear here, all right? Your ability to learn better does not mean you immediately rush the fundamentals and you rush yourself. That simply means that you'll learn things and absorb things faster. And now now it's even better. Your responsibility, your duty, whatever the fuck you want to call it. Oh, nice fancy word, right? Just your work ethic towards being more intentional with your practice is a double benefit, because not only are you plastic and you're learning things in leaps and bounds at your age, you are also, because you're being intentional, learning things more intimately and better, and you're building a good work ethic towards learning past the age of 25, right? So let's not get it twisted. Do not be in a fucking rush, dipshit. But be happy and grateful for the fact that you are learning something at an age where your brain's already very plastic, right? And by the way, while I'm talking, I cannot think at all, but I'm really, really, really trying to get my mental model down, right? Really trying to see the sphere. The main thing is I'm really trying to see the sphere, right? And let's see. I'm really trying to see the sphere. This is my center, right? So that's my, okay, so yeah, like I got the center down, which is nice. I'm really struggling to still see the center, but like overall, at least it's helping a little bit, right? I think I got the center down a bit wrong. It's more like there. But this is why you shouldn't put the dots, because the dots help, but then they end up becoming obstructions. So because it's all in the fucking way, and it's like, if it's wrong, it ends up becoming an error that's visibly marked on the page that consistently fucks with your calculations, right? But I can't say anything, by the way. I really can't. Like, this entire thing is a fucking obstruction, but I am trying so hard to conceptualize, understand, and constantly keep everything in mind, right? So this, there you go. That's a bit too much of a curve, and I don't know why my pen just seemed to die there, but this is okay. And then let me think. I'm trying to see like how it's wrapped around. Right? And again, like I do have this really bad habit of making my this is way too curved. This is way too fucking curved. But I have a really bad habit of making my mental model too small. Right? So I'm trying to think in terms of the box. And I'm really trying to zoom out. Trust me, I'm really fucking trying to zoom out and see everything, but I can't. And this is the best part. So I'm taking a step back. Okay, I'm not looking at the form or like anything. Let my brain recover for a little bit. Okay, now we try to reconstruct again. And now I'm really, again, trying to see everything, right? I'm really trying to see underneath, because this is wraparound, so the actual schema is underneath, right? And that is where I need to think about this this is wrong. It's beautiful that it's wrong, by the way. Like, it's wrong, and that's fine, right? I need to think about the wraparound. Something like that. And this is, again, you can see my curves have a lot of work to be had, right? A lot of work. And I'm still trying to think about the wraparound here. Okay, it's pretty shit, don't get me wrong, but the fact that I'm thinking about this and I'm thinking about this, right, while I'm wrapping around on the sphere itself, and then also like on top, I'm thinking about this, right, and I'm also trying to wrap around like that. That is important, because the thing is, like, we're not doing guesswork. That's the most important thing. Like, there's no guesswork to be had, and that is actually what creates, again, the understanding. Because once you start doing guesswork is when your brain is like, okay, so we're just not going to put the effort to understand, right? Like, that is where you don't want to be, you know? But if you aren't doing guesswork and you're constantly trying to understand and calculate, that is where your brain's like, okay, like, we don't get it yet, but we know there's calculations to be had. We know there's constant, there's a mental model to be updated. Like I always say, like, there's just a mental model to be updated, right? And right now, what the fuck? Right now, my mental model, this is my box, right? Like, this is what I've established as my box. It's still pretty small, as you can see, right? But it's not exactly the size that it should be. But at least right now, I can see that I've gotten my center line. I'm really trying to understand the depth of it all. But oh man, I love this. I fucking love this. This. And again, like, I'm really trying to zoom out and see my mental model. Like, I'm genuinely trying to see it as much as possible, right? Like, in the center line, right? Everything. So we need to, and again, this is the most difficult part, because this is what really, this wraparound, like this right here, is what's going to test my understanding and my stability of the construction, right? Like, do I actually understand what the fuck I'm doing? And very likely I don't. Like, genuinely, I'll say right now, like, very likely I don't. But very likely I'm also going to try really hard to understand, right? And I think it should be a bit further out, because this is my center, right? This is where my box is. So we have to make sure that we are... There you go. Maybe this is good. I'm going to say, like, again, maybe. I think I made this curve a bit too much, but again, on the other side as well, I gotta see it, be like, okay, where's my sphere? Because we still gotta hold the sphere in like a consistent regard, right? So let's see. No, this is my center. Yeah, see, like, I already fucked up the center a little bit, right? I did not see this plane properly, right? Again, I really struggle with the large, because it's hard. It's easy to draw a plane, easier to draw a plane, or an ellipse, sorry, not a plane. That's like this. That's just by itself. But then to break it up and to still see everything is immensely difficult. And then on this scale is, you know, the difficulty is also compounded yet again, right? So once again, let me rest my brain, and then I'm going to take a step back and try to visualize and draw it properly again, right? And I'm going to take my time. I'm going to really go slow, because it's 48 minutes. Might as well take the next 12 minutes to really fucking visualize as much as I can, because there's no rush. Like, the more time I take, that's what I want to say as well. The more time you take to really calculate, understand, visualize, really put that effort in, that's only going to serve you in the long term, right? I'm sure I already made I'm 100% already made a dozen mistakes, if not more, just in the mark making, let alone my visualization and what was happening in my mind, right? But I'm constantly trying to see the box. Like, right now, this is my mental schema, right? And you can see even my ghosting with my finger is wrong. Like, this has to be more accurate, right? Or like this. Something is wrong, right? But this is definitely my edge. This is my center, right? I'm trying to visualize all of it. I'm really trying to visualize. I can't see anything, by the way. I'm telling you, I'm in output regression right now, but I'm really trying to understand and visualize all of it. Oh, it's amazing. Anyways, let me rest my brain. This is fucking amazing. The fact that we have the ability to build this skill, it's amazing. Let me rest my brain. All right, wunderbar and the wunderbar. Good shit, good shit. Okay, so once again, I'm just gonna focus purely on just getting my visualization down right now because the schema needs to be respected. Respected, right? It needs to be understood. So I need to at least try to hold this for as long as I can before I even make an attempt to, because I need to see the sphere. This is an obstruction, by the way. This is getting in the way of me seeing the sphere accurately, and that's partly because it's already incorrect. Like, it's already incorrect, right? But that doesn't mean that I can't try, right? Because let's see, there's already quite a few issues here, right? But here, let's see. So that's my sphere. Oh, okay, so this is my center line. See, like, that's something I couldn't even conceptualize right now, that this internal part, I just completely forgot is my center line. So I just need to see the sphere being accurately placed inside this, right? So accurately placed inside this while also keeping, and I'm trying to zoom out as much as I can while also keeping my box and the center lines, right, connected properly. So, and again, this is the center plane, right? And that's where my box is at the edge over here. Really trying to visualize it. Am I succeeding? Fuck no. Fuck no. I'll tell you right now, I'm not fucking succeeding in anything. But I'm trying really, really, really hard to succeed in this thing, right? And let's see, that means we got this right around here. So once again, I need to get the sphere correct, right? I need to get this plane correct. I need to really visualize this plane. And we're just gonna try. We're just gonna try. But before I try again, I'm really trying to zoom out, really trying to visualize, really trying to understand, really trying to understand, right? And really, yeah, just fucking, I don't know how else to say this, bro. I'm dying. I'm trying to visualize this. It's like I'm really trying to visualize this underneath this form wrapping. It's genuinely very difficult, right? I can't tell you anything right now apart from I'm in output regression. I'm constantly losing the calculations, and I'm really trying to hold it all together. But that is the beauty, is the fact that I have no ability to hold it together right now. And that's probably wrong, right? That is not a perfect sphere. So I should have been further out. It should have been further out. I calculated it incorrectly, and that's okay. That's why I should have been further out, right? And that's why, let's see. Let's see. This is coming out like this. This is jutting out, right? We're still trying to see the wraparound, right? Still trying to see the wraparound. Still trying to understand the wraparound. I'm like very zoomed in right now, so I need to keep zooming out and trying to see to the best of my ability. Again, no guesswork, right? That's the biggest thing. It's like no guesswork. Trying to make sure that it's all wrapped around as per my understanding. Because right now, like, what am I seeing? I'm seeing the edges of the plane to the best of my ability. And I'm trying to make sure that it's wrapped around accurately. Accurately? Accurately. Right? And that is where this growth is occurring. Because I'm really trying to see, like, these lines are really bad, by the way. Right? My curves, the consistency, the thickness, it's all horrendous. Horrendous, I say. Emphasis on the horrendous. Right? But now I need to, again, take a step back, be like, okay, where is my... I'm trying to zoom out as much as I can. Very difficult. Very, very, very difficult. Whew! And then same thing here. Let's see. Right? This is my box. This is the side, right? I really tried to see it. I think pretty sure it's off center. But anyways, let me take a step back, try to understand the other side of the box, right? And then make my sphere, you know. Oh man, this is so difficult. And you can see I made it very wide, so this is very incorrect, right? So because what was the other mistake? This is too long. Like this is, I keep making the other side way too short, right? Which is what makes it seem stunted. It's like this, it's this nuance, right? Where it's, if right in the center, it's, you can see it's not as short, I don't think. Maybe I'm wrong, right? It's definitely not as short as I make it out to be. I think it's also because I made this too long, right? There's the ratio here. Like some ratios are off. Like either one thing is too long compared to another thing, which is what's making my ellipse is very squat, or my sphere is very squat, right? And let's see. I'm trying to zoom out. Okay, so like this is obviously very wrong. You can see like I completely fucked up the sphere, right? And the big thing is I fucked it up because especially here, because I was trying to zoom out, I didn't connect it properly. It'd look a lot better. See, that's already better, and it's connected a bit more. Oh, that really hurt my brain. That was amazing. And I still made a lot of mistakes. I still made quite a few mistakes because I still can't understand the wrap around here, right? Like this one's looking like it's wrapping around the corner, or like it's wrapping diagonally into it rather than just wrapping as per the perspective, right? So incredibly difficult. Incredibly fucking difficult. It's been 55 minutes as well. But let me again try to break down what I was trying. By the way, when I'm saying like, especially now, but always, like when I'm saying, like I'm trying to visualize this, what am I really seeing? Little flickers, maybe, right? Little flickers, right? What am I actually trying to see is obviously this, right? This. Like I'm trying to see that, but what I actually see is flickers because again, visualization is a difficult skill. You don't have fucking aphantasia. It's just an extremely difficult skill to build. And spatial reasoning is one of the most cognitively demanding skills as well, like for our brain, right? Like, and that applies to everything, you know, that applies to coding as well. Like even in coding, spatial reasoning is incredibly difficult, right? And I'm only using that example because that's like a pertinent example for me right now because I'm learning it, right? But visualization in any manner, you know, trying to visualize the notes while you're playing a fucking piece of music, trying to it's all relevant, you know. Even if you're becoming a woodworker or something, right? You have to visualize 3D space, right? The texture of the wood. I don't know, you know. I don't have the best examples for things I don't have experience in, obviously. But the point I'm trying to make is it's all like visualization in any domain, if it exists, right? Whether visualization exists in that domain, right, is going to be difficult, right? So do not fret, right? Like that is the process. And let's see, I keep making so this is my center, right? So like, yeah, so I keep fucking up the box. This is actually a pretty good sphere, I think. See, I still struggle with, let me actually see if it's a good sphere or not. Right, it's a bit too narrow, but so this should have been a bit longer. Right, there you go. Oh, this should have been a bit wider actually. Fuck. Whatever. The point is, like, see, I'm struggling so much, but like this is what I was trying to see. Right? I was trying to understand this plane here, right? Because this is not exactly centered, and then we have this on the other side, this plane as well. Right, we have to see through both of them. Was I really seeing it? No, because I was just trying to see what was visible because it was really difficult. I was still trying to see through, right? And this thing is jutting out, right? This is a jut out. So this is something that's like this, right? This is literally just a box, a subtracted box, right? And I was really trying to see that. And I'm telling you right now, like my mind, like when I'm gonna go rest my brain after this session, I'll be like, bro, why didn't you just see it? It's like, shut the fuck up. I tried really hard, which is why this is starting to look pretty decent, right? But you can tell, like I actually got the center accurate, right? I actually got the center relatively accurate, right? But everything else did suffer or stagnate because of that, right? Lots of issues all around. It's like I said, relatively accurate for a reason, right? And again, could I even see this? Fuck no, I could not see this at all, right? But that's the point, is like, this is why this is such a good stress test, and this is why it's gonna take me minimum another 50 to 100 hours, right? This is the part of my channel where the vast majority of you who were mildly interested be like, this guy's really practicing, damn. And when I was making nice little form wraps around it, right, but that didn't really test my knowledge, you know, it was all vague. But when I was doing those, it was like, oh, okay, cool, like he's drawing something, like, okay, like that looks interesting, art's getting better. But now I'm, to your eyes, doing the same shit over and over, but to my knowledge and to what I know I'm doing, I'm creating a fucking strong foundation, right? I'm creating a strong mental schema. This is basically the ellipse inside a plane or the cylinder inside a box on steroids, because this is a sphere inside a box and seeing every fucking center line and then center lines inside the sphere in of itself and then wrapping around it, right? Like this is literally basic, already the difficult parts about perspective, which is, you know, can you put an ellipse in a box, right? Can you do that? Can you do that? Can you put a cylinder in it? Like, can you do that shit? Like, this is already very difficult. Don't get me wrong. That took me 100 hours to do. So it's only fair that this would take me minimum 100 hours to get down as well, right? In terms of visualization, right? Like right now, I can basically see like basically any angle, because again, each angle is a new mental schema, right? What's a difficult angle that I don't really do? Like this one is a bit more difficult, where I do this, right? Because then I have to see, like seeing that is not as common for me, right? But I still do it. I can still see it. I can still see through the form. I can still see the back of this. I can still see this, right? Like I have trained myself to see all of that, right? But that, again, this, and again, I can see the center line for this, right? And even when it's larger, I can see it, by the way. This is just me making a point. But like this, again, is like the baby version of this now, right? So again, many of you will fall off at this point, but for those of you who will come back from the future or are new from the future, right? 5, 10, 15 years from now, and you'll be like, holy shit, like he has fucking 600 parts or 400 parts on portraiture. By the way, just portraiture, artwod portrait roadmap, not even the figure yet, right? Because I'm gonna just spend basically 5 years per these things. It seems like it. Again, I'm in the fucking trenches right now. This shit feels like it's gonna take forever, and I've accepted that feeling, right? And I think everybody who's trying to learn should just accept that feeling. This just accept it's gonna take forever. Therefore, every day I'm just gonna do my best, right? We cannot predict the future. We can only predict the fact that we're just gonna keep trying, and we're gonna get slightly better over time. And as long as we learn to the best of our ability, we rest our brains and we keep fucking trying to visualize, to get better at draftsmanship, to get better at values, to get better at composition, design, right? All the things involved in that, and then allow ourselves to experiment when we're not studying but we're playing, right? Like that's all we can do. That's literally all we can do. But yeah, like I expect vast majority of you to fall off at this point, and that's okay, because I only want people who actually understand the value of this and practice along with me, and I want to help people who understand what they're doing, right? And I definitely made this way too wide now that I look at it, right? Like this is way too fucking wide, right? Because then that's where the center gets skewed, because then the ellipse, and that's another thing, like I keep wanting to visualize this, by the way, like I keep wanting to visualize this, but when you have to think about the wraparound, right? Like this is literally like I was trying really hard. I saw this maybe, not even this entire thing, but I saw flickers of this maybe like 20-30% of the time. But this is like the main thing that I need to keep visualizing, right? Like this thing. Obviously I want to see the bottom cross axis, the diagonal ones, the horizontal ones. Obviously I want to see all of that, but this is the main thing that's going to stabilize it. So then it's like, oh, okay, you have another 3D wraparound, right? You have this thing, and then on the other side the same thing, and then like being able to understand how that wraps around as well, right? Like that is very important. And I think I'm like making this jut out a bit too much. There's still a lot of things I don't understand, but I'm saying I'm trying to understand the center, and I keep trying to think about it. But when you have wraparound logic to consider, which is why this is a beautiful stress test, is like that's another 15 things on my working memory. Again, I want to keep saying, if I don't reiterate it enough, like I said it a lot at a certain point, like fucking part 70 to part 80 or whatever. But I feel as if I've said it enough, and I'm just focusing on what I can't fucking talk and think to that extent. It's very difficult, which is why I'm practicing metacognition, which is being an observer to my own abilities and trying to explain to you what I'm thinking about. But just know that like I'm constantly trying to calculate dozens of things at once and just overloading my working memory, which is where I experienced output regression, and my brain's like, something isn't working, we gotta update our mental model, right? Like you're constantly trying, you're pushing the limits of your hardware such that the software, which is the beauty of neuroplasticity, your brain, has to keep updating and correcting itself over the weeks, over the months, right? It's gonna basically look like a plateau until it isn't. Like I'm telling you, bro, it was months, hundreds of days, hundreds of fucking days, and now you can see that. You can see that in my. This is a video. This is a video for beginner artists. You are not alone. If you go to my year 1 to 2 playlist and you click on that video, right, and you just go to the middle, you'll just, or not even. If you just go to like when I started doing box and cylinder clusters, or even before that, the entire video basically, you'll see that it took me fucking, oh my god, like 5,000 repetitions, right? It took me let's just say 200 hours. It took me 200 hours to get cylinders. 200 hours to get cylinders. 200 hours to be able to see this and to be like, wee, okay, I see it now. Wow, look at that, I see it now. Oh, look, I see the fucking minor axis. I see that shit, right? Where's the other one that I drew? I see that shit, I see it so much. 200 hours. Do it once with max effort. Do it 200 more times. Do it once for 1 hour in max effort, right? And then do it 200 more times, minimum. So it's probably fucking like 250 hours, right? But fucking bare repetitions, right? And you'll see that I didn't get it for so long until I did. And genuinely, I only started getting it when I started doing this fucking, started my channel, just cataloging my progress, right? You'll see, like, even in the first, like, 30 of my videos when I'm doing anything related with cylinders, they're still fucking off. And even now, you can see I still struggle with them, right? Like, this my guy, you are not accurately portraying this. So this is something I have the liberty to be like, right, like what is, because this is such a unique cylinder, right? This is a unique ellipse, sorry, right? And I still have to understand the minor axis and everything. And I know, like, I basically bastardized the thumbnails because, like, I end up drawing everywhere. But this is for me to give you, at the end of the day, I think Trevon, right? He's one of my fans. He pulls up every now and then, comments sometimes, right? I don't know if he's changed his username, but he basically said me writing stuff makes it more interesting. I'm assuming what you mean by that is like me writing about like the things I'm thinking about and me explaining things, like utilizing, you know, fucking visuals and like the perspective and like these little drawings, right? So yeah, either way, it takes time. Let's fucking enjoy the time that we have then, right? Like at the end of the day, it's gonna fucking fly by. You're gonna be 80. You'll be like, all right, shit, damn, I should have enjoyed the process. So how about we just be 80 now and enjoy the process, right? So there you go. Now I've talked enough time, but that was a really, really, really good intentional, effortful session. Like I definitely learned a lot here. You can tell I'm getting like, that's the beautiful part is like with each new angle, it's a stress test. And each new angle, I'm constantly getting better at constructing it and understanding the logic of it, right? So that's the beauty of interleaving. Like I'm constantly testing the construction and then I'm testing the stability and the solidity and the stability and whatever itty you want to call it, right? The titty of the schema. So yeah, art is a cognitive endurance skill. It's a working memory capacity skill, right? It is constantly pushing yourself to that limit and then resting, allowing your brain to refresh for like 10, 20 seconds and then going back at it again. And output regression, where you're putting all your effort, the inputs are high, but the output is garbage, is where you want to be, because that's where your brain has the most heightened amount of neuroplasticity, and that's where your brain is actually going to learn. But now the most important thing is after the session, you fuck off and you rest for minimum 10 minutes. Lie down on your bed, go for a walk, put on noise canceling headphones, whatever, but do not have any external dopamine inducing phone stimulus, reading stimulus, right? Listening to music stimulus, and none of that shit. Minimum 10 to 15 minutes, just rest your brain. Goodbye. Anyways, yeah, anyway, fucking, that's not my outro, sorry. Anyways, I hope you really tried all that shit. And as always, fuck you for watching. Keep drawing, and please, give me money.